Have you ever checked your bank account a week after payday and wondered where it went? It's tempting to think that if someone doubled your salary tomorrow, your financial stress would vanish. But for most people, more money just means more spending, and the long wait for the next paycheck remains exactly the same. Take Michael. At 24, his daily routine was a masterclass in exhaustion. He walked 40 minutes to the supermarket every morning, where he spent his days hauling heavy boxes, arranging shelves, and standing on concrete floors until his shirt was drenched in sweat. And what did that brutal labor buy him? A tiny rented room where the roof leaked every time it rained, and an old mattress lying flat on the floor beneath a broken fan. The pay was so low that he and his coworkers shared a dark, recurring joke. They'd laugh and say they weren't working for money anymore. They were just trading their bodies for enough food to survive the next shift. Manual labor is deeply taxing, but hard work alone cannot build financial security. Without a deliberate structure for that income, the daily grind becomes a treadmill, locking a person in a permanent state of survival no matter how much they sweat. This diagram maps out a psychological trap that captures millions of workers, the paycheck illusion. When the monthly salary finally arrives in the bank account, the sudden influx of cash triggers a powerful, temporary surge in dopamine and a false sense of wealth. For Michael, payday was a brief escape from his reality. He took that hard-earned cash straight to the clubs, buying rounds of drinks and expensive clothes he couldn't afford. For a few hours, the emotional relief and the social pressure to look successful completely overrode any sense of rational budgeting. But the crash always comes. Exactly 1 week later, his wallet would be empty. His kitchen cupboards would be bare. He'd find himself walking home, smelling roasted chicken from a street vendor, clutching just enough change for a loaf of bread, forced to wait out the long weeks until the next payday. When vital income is used solely as a mechanism to purchase temporary social validation, it ceases to be a tool for survival. It becomes an engine that actively guarantees long-term poverty. One evening, walking through his neighborhood as the sun set, Michael stumbled upon a chaotic scene. A family was forced out of their home, their entire lives reduced to small bags tossed onto the pavement by an angry landlord. The terrified tenant lowered his head, pleading for more time, promising to pay next month. The landlord shook his head and delivered a sharp critique. "I've heard that every month. You work, but you never plan." Standing frozen on the sidewalk, Michael felt those words pierce through him. He looked down at his worn shoes and realized the landlord was describing Michael's exact existence. The desire to impress his friends on the weekends vanished. In its place was a terrifying mathematical reality. He was living exactly 1 bad month away from standing on the street with his own bags. Shifting how you see money often starts with a moment of extreme discomfort that forces you to face the physical consequences of your current path. The very next morning, Michael walked into the town library for the first time. He found a book on building wealth with a small income, and the first chapter delivered a harsh truth. A low salary is a hurdle, but the lack of a plan is the fatal disease. He immediately severed his old routine. When his friends called him to go out and celebrate the next payday, trying to drag him back into the illusion of looking rich, Michael smiled, declined the invitation, and stayed home. Instead of a nightclub, he spent his evening implementing a new system. This expense matrix represents his new reality. Rather than leaving his incoming salary as one highly vulnerable pool of cash, he systematically divided it. He bought basic groceries to cook his own meals, logged every single expense in a small notebook, and locked in his rent payment before spending a dime on anything else. At work, his coworkers mocked his little notebook. They laughed at the idea that his tiny, unglamorous savings could ever amount to anything. But Michael ignored the friction. He knew that even microscopic savings eventually compound into real leverage. Months later, he hit a massive milestone. For the first time in his adult life, Michael reached the end of the month and still had money left over. His pay hadn't increased by a single cent, but his system was working. Financial security relies on the aggressive defense of the resources you already have. It is a series of quiet victories against the urge to prove your worth through spending. Look at this graph charting 2 very different trajectories over a 10-year span. Michael's progress was slow and invisible at first. He spent years working his day job at the supermarket while using his small savings to launch a side business that barely made a profit for months. Only after years of this dual effort did his savings grow large enough to buy a small piece of land and eventually his first rental property. Notice the initial point of divergence here. Early on, the gap between Michael's new habits and his friend's lifestyle was completely invisible to the naked eye. But while his peers remained trapped in the flat, oscillating wave of borrowing and spending, Michael's slow trajectory secured his absolute peace of mind. Years of immense patience and thousands of quiet, unglamorous choices culminated on a single afternoon. Michael stood in the empty living room of a modest house that he had built from the ground up. He stood in the silence, finally free from the fear of losing the roof over his head. Michael didn't get lucky. He simply reached the logical conclusion of a system he maintained for over a decade. Wealth is the result of thousands of disciplined micro-decisions, compounding over time. When his mother came to visit, she walked through the rooms and began to cry. She confessed her long-held terror that his tiny supermarket salary would doom him to a life of suffering. Standing in the warm light of his secure home, she realized how wrong she had been. Today, Michael operates as a landlord himself. Because he vividly remembers the terror of that evicted family on the dusty sidewalk all those years ago, he treats his struggling tenants with a deep, structural empathy he never received in his youth. So here is the question you have to answer. When your next paycheck arrives, will you let it vanish back into the illusion of temporary status? Or will you use it as the foundational brick of a planned future? Look closely at your daily routine and ask yourself, what is the one habit you are going to change today?